4 family members killed in their Grantsville home. Now, in the wake of tragedy, the community is coming together. We have the story coming up.
New details tonight in the deadly avalanche that killed a teen in Farmington Canyon and the attempt to save his life.
They made every effort, and they should know that what they did made a difference.
What first responders are revealing about the moments leading up to the rescue.
And he was the center of controversy for practicing his religious beliefs in the classroom.
She just told me it's unacceptable. Wipe your ashes off.
Fox 13 catches up with the Bountiful Boy and his meeting with the president and the changes the commander-in-chief is making to protect kids like him.
A beautiful holiday weekend so far, but a change is coming. Your forecast on the way.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
A Grantsville man is recovering after he was involved in a shooting Friday night, which claimed the life of a woman and 3 children.
And while police are in the middle of this investigation, the community is coming together to help the family. Fox 13's Elle Thomas shows us how.
The community is definitely still hurting in the wake of this tragedy, but it's sparked a wave of giving from complete strangers that's truly astonishing.
It is amazing to me how quickly it adds up. You have to admit, the amount of money that's been raised on this thing is unreal.
Scrolling through rows and rows of donations.
We are almost to our goal of $60,000. It's a lot of money in a very short amount of time.
Heartfelt sentiments ring out through a computer screen.
You're in our prayers. God bless. My heart is tender and empathetic as I see the tragedy come to a well-loved family.
Typing away on the fundraiser she started, Patty sees a number of familiar faces.
There's people that I know are out of work that, just donated $5.
She sees even more strangers.
Certainly never expected that I could keep raising it and raising it and raising it, and people just kept stepping forward.
But like many of these people, she's never actually met the family that it's for.
It obviously is a shock to everyone that, such a tragedy has struck this family.
Flashback to Friday night, red and blue lights filled Eastmore Drive in Grantsville. That's when police say a teenage boy shot 5 people he lived with, killing a woman and 3 children, sending a man to the hospital. In the aftermath, the street and home sit quiet. Out front, a white van dons stickers of what was a family of 7, and a community is still in shock.
Devastated, absolutely devastated. This just should have never been.
Patty knows money can't change what happened.
I just knew that we needed to do something.
But she knows the community will keep doing what they can.
That they are generous, they are kind, they are loving, they are giving.
$1.
Just thinking of you.
Kind word.
$51,720.
And donation at a time.
That's a lot of love right there. I look at every single dollar as someone's heart.
A vigil will be held here at Grantsville City Park tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. They ask that you bring your own candle. We also have a link to that fundraising page on our website. In Grantsville, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A lot of good out there, Elle, thank you. And at last check, that fundraiser for the family of the victims has raised more than $60,000. Fox 13 is working to learn more about the Grantsville homicides. Of course, stay with us both on the air, on social media, and on fox13now.com for the latest updates.
We're just learning the name of the woman who troopers say sparked a bizarre series of events on I-15 near Draper.
Troopers say Courtney Marie Earnhardt ran onto the southbound lanes near 138 South and Draper late last night, causing 2 separate multi-vehicle crashes. And then things took a stranger turn from there when a driver of one of those cars got out and tried to steal a car from a person who stopped to help. But when that didn't work, he ran away, leaving the woman and children inside that car, as well as his car at the scene.
The individual that attempted to steal another vehicle, we are still pursuing leads into locating the individual. We've contacted the State Bureau of Investigation, and they are assisting us with the follow-up investigation of that.
Now, UHP says that they do know the identity of the man who ran away. And as for Courtney Earnhardt, she was eventually taken into custody.
Now to a developing story in Davis County. Authorities have identified the 18-year-old man killed in an avalanche in Farmington Canyon. Davis County Sheriff's Office says Chase Adams, seen here, was snowmobiling with his father yesterday afternoon when that avalanche triggered. Initial reports said that his airbag did not deploy, but we now know the bag was punctured during the recovery efforts. First responders say Adams and his snowmobile were buried under thousands of pounds of snow for about 20 minutes. It took at least 10 people to get him out. Adams was not breathing. When he was rescued, he passed away while being flown to a nearby hospital.
It varies in depth. Some people get lucky and a hand is poking up, or they're just a couple feet under. And there's just no way to guarantee the outcome.
All it takes is one more rider and it triggers a slide. And it was a pretty steep hillside and had tragic consequences.
Chase's father, Ben, released this statement saying in part, "We spent the day at a location that is dear to me and my boys. We had a wonderful day doing what we love to do. When the snow slid, I was shocked, but I had a feeling everything was going to be okay." He goes on to say he knew things would be okay because he trusted God to give him strength to know that someday he will see his son again.
Doug Iverson joining us in the Weather Center tonight. And Doug, that's hard news to hear. What do people need to know who are headed outdoors or to the backcountry this week?
We still have some considerable avalanche danger in places like up around Logan, the mountains that kind of border the south and east end of Cache Valley, and the western side of the Uintas. Considerable avalanche danger there. We're in the moderate avalanche danger along the Wasatch Front. So just be careful. Stay away from steep slopes. That seems to be the running theme. If it's really steep, you want to be as far away from that as possible. And of course, north-facing slopes too. Stay away from that side of the terrain. The snow is very unstable. I was talking to Craig Gordon at the Utah Avalanche Center this morning, and one of the biggest problems with their last storm is we had a lot of wind, and wind has a tendency when we get snowfall to make the snowpack very unstable, very dangerous. So just keep that in mind. We're still reeling from the last snowstorm we had just a couple days ago. 41 in Salt Lake City right now. Ogden, you're at 36, so not too bad. At least these are the highs. Not too bad this afternoon. Look at the high over in Logan, 21 degrees. Still pretty cold there. Vernal, 26. We only got above freezing in Price, and a little warmer in St. George than we were yesterday afternoon. We were in the 40s over in Elko and over in Ely. Right now, though, it's freezing already. Salt Lake City at 30. 11 in Logan, 16 currently in Evanston, and single digits in Vernal. Overnight, partly cloudy for Salt Lake City. The winds will be light. We'll bottom out at 25. We'll take a look at your holiday forecast coming up.
Doug, we'll see you soon. New at 9, reunited across borders. More than a dozen families were brought together in Utah today. For the first time ever, Utah hosted the family reunification program, Messenger Pigeons. This program making it possible for parents and grandparents to see their family members for the first time since they immigrated to this state.
It was really very, very touching, moving, seeing these families together for the first time. As I said, 10 years, 13, 15, even 23 years.
Incredible. 15 families took part in this program today. Relatives from Mexico were also granted a 10-year visa so they could return in the future. The consulate telling Fox 13 that this program has a waiting list of almost 2,000 people.
An update to a story we brought you last night. The wife of the late mayor of North Ogden, Major Brent Taylor, will soon take her first act in her new government role. Jenny Taylor was just commissioned as Utah's civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. Tomorrow, she will present this portrait of the late Sergeant Elliot Robbins to his family at their home in North Ogden. Jenny Taylor will still be living in Utah for this new role. She's set to head back to Washington, D.C. at the end of February for additional training. A bountiful Utah boy shaking hands with the President of the United States.
Fox 13's Spencer Joseph shows us why the boy got to have this unique experience.
Brian Kirsten, William McLeod was at the center of a controversial story that began with him symbolizing his religion in school. He was asked to remove his ash cross last year by his teacher. Now President Donald Trump is using William's story as an example for new federal guidelines.
On Thursday, President Donald Trump announcing new guidelines on prayer in schools.
Is that a good idea? Good, right? You like that, right?
And standing right next to him, William McLeod, who may look familiar. That's because we told his story before. Last March, he was told to remove his ash cross on Ash Wednesday by his teacher. The story went viral, and now, nearly a year later, he was called to tell it on a national stage.
And we went to the West Wing, waited a bit longer, and then went to the Oval Office where I stood right next to the president and shook his hand 3 times.
When talking to us in the past and today, William came across as fearless, not shy at all on camera. But when it came to the president,
I was nervous. Trust me. Yeah.
Throughout his trip to the nation's capital, William went sightseeing, spending a day in the West Wing and touring the White House.
We saw Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, Capitol of D.C., and then we went to the Air and Space Museum where I got this.
But his favorite part of it all?
Meeting the president.
So while William's story a year ago was not a happy one, because of it, he's now had the experience of a lifetime.
What does it mean to you to be a part of that act by the president?
It means everything to me.
Why?
Because, I don't want anyone to feel really bad the way I did about this stuff. It hurts my feelings.
Such a good kid. William is very proud to share his story so that no one has to go through what he did again. Now, he couldn't stop smiling when we were talking about his experience in the White House. In studio, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still to come tonight, no one tends to look forward to having surgery, but some new tech could change that. How a new tool could shorten the length of operations and speed up your recovery time.
He's an expert in counterterrorism and played a key role in brokering peace in the Middle East.
But there's been a change in the nature and the evolving face of terrorism.
The threats America faces and what happens if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Amos Guiora coming up on 3 Questions.
News breaks when it wants. Doesn't have a script, so we don't cut things short just to hand it over to network news. We stay local. Fox 13's Good Day Utah.
Murder really does follow you everywhere.
You have no idea what you did to me.
I made you.
You destroyed me.
Your family. It's your fatal flaw.
Might as well go out with a bang.
Prodigal Son, Monday at 8 on Fox 13.
Everything okay?
Regular service helps you stay safe on the road, but if you get injured because someone else wasn't as careful, call Craig Swap & Associates for the 5-star service you'll need to win your case. Craig Swap & Associates. One call, that's all.
That's good advice.
On January 17th, the lights turn on at the Mountain America Exposition Center. And it's your opportunity to see all the new cars, new trucks, SUVs, exotics, and high-end luxury vehicles all in one place at one time. The Utah International Auto Expo, the 17th through the 20th. Discounts available at utahautoexpo.com.
This is protection in a world of distraction. This is value you can't ignore. Get 0% financing for 60 months and save $1,000 on the 2020 Rogue.
So, Mom, any advice? Don't wait to get a home energy plan to learn how to save money on your gas bill. Come here. Oh, so proud of you.
We just want you to make good choices, son. Like, if you're ever injured in an accident, choosing the right attorney makes all the difference in your case. It's why people call Craig Swap & Associates first. Craig Swap & Associates. One call, that's all.
That's good advice.
Phil and Jay are coaching basketball.
Manny, pay attention. What are you looking at?
What?
On the next Modern Family.
Monday at 6:30 on Fox 13.
Welcome back. Some interesting tech here. We all know that surgeries can be complex and the recovery process pretty long, but now new technology can help make it easier.
Fox 13's Jordan Hogan explains how OrthoGrid is improving things for both patients and for doctors.
OrthoGrid teamed up with University of Utah Health to give them the tools to improve the experience of those having surgery, and the results are quite impressive. Most people don't tend to look forward to having surgery, but the thought of recovering quicker could calm your nerves. Dr. Jeremy Gilliland, an associate professor of orthopedics at the University of Utah Hospital, says OrthoGrid is a tool that can make a big difference in the operating room.
The OrthoGrid technology helps improve our accuracy with component placement, which
ultimately we think will improve our patient's outcome.
OrthoGrid can be used to scan parts of a patient's body during surgery to help doctors get an accurate picture of what they're dealing with.
You can use it in several ways. You can use it as a single image. You can take multiple in a row in bursts, so you can take one after another and use those as static images, and you can also use live video feed.
The tech tends to be used in surgeries for hip, knee or ankle fractures, as well as hip replacements.
It's led to faster recovery, lower complication rates in the way of dislocations and other complications that can come after these surgeries.
It can also be used when repairing wrists, shoulders and elbows too. OrthoGrid can also help out in times of trauma when doctors have to make life-saving decisions.
Big jump in terms of what we saw, when applying this technology.
Dr. Gilliland says before using OrthoGrid, they were between 75 and 80% accurate with hip placements and joints and such, and now they're near 100%. In studio, Jordan Hogan, Fox 13 News, Utah.
With the recent snow that we've been getting, we're also seeing a rise in the potential for avalanches.
And first responders are working hard to be ready at any moment to rescue someone from the snow. Fox 13's Sydney Glenn takes us up Big Cottonwood Canyon, where she met some of the people and pets trained to save lives.
Ski Patrol, we're gonna search the area. Call out if you can hear me. Joni, search.
It's a place you hope to never be, inside an avalanche.
Dig is, and the bark is the indication that there's a person there.
This is Joni. She's training to be an avalanche rescue dog.
Good, Joni, good. Good, Joni.
She's almost 2 years old and has been training every day since her handler, Jasper Anderson, first brought her home at just 7 weeks.
Good search.
The hope is one day soon, she'll be able to show the rescue team where to start digging for the person or people trapped down below.
They can smell, 40 times what a human can smell.
Several resorts have dogs like Joni to help you if you were to ever get stuck in an avalanche. But they say the key is to have a partner and your own safety gear.
So this is the backpack we bring. We have the same ones.
Colin Hinchman and Jadlyn Nagy love to ride the backcountry, but they never go up without their gear, a beacon, shovel, and probe.
If she's buried, I can turn this into search mode and it'll pick her up.
For the best chance of survival, Jasper admits, you don't want to see him and Joni showing up. It's the people who are right next to you.
Some people don't always bring the adequate avalanche rescue gear, and it's not to say that an avalanche will always happen, but it's always possible. And so that can put me on edge sometimes because that could be me that needs to be rescued.
You never want to be inside an avalanche, but if you are, your best line of defense is being prepared. In Big Cottonwood Canyon, Sydney Glenn, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Solitude Ski Resort has another day coming up where you can see some of those avalanche dogs in action. It's February 15th at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Well, we all know that Utah has the greatest snow on earth, but some kids who might not normally get to experience it were able to take it all in this past week.
18 teenage patients from Shriners Hospitals for Children who either are amputees or were born with partial or missing limbs took part in the Unlimited Ski and Snowboard Camp at Park City Mountain Resort. While skiing and snowboarding is the main draw for a lot of these teens, this camp was about so much more than that.
They're really excited to try new things. A lot of them have to really have a lot of modifications, and that doesn't faze them in the least bit.
I've made a lot more friends and realized that I'm not alone with what I go through.
From a performance called Art with Heart, which was put on by 3 local dance studios, made it possible to provide this camp experience to all of these patients free of charge.
Well, in those past 2 stories, the snow looked excellent.
Yeah.
You can never have enough of it if you like to be on top of that snow up in the mountains.
It is great that everyone, regardless of, how you're doing physically, you can get out there and really enjoy the greatest snow on earth here in Utah. And if you don't want to hit the slopes, you can just view it from down low. Beautiful viewer photo taken yesterday, as a matter of fact. This is up in Cache Valley. You can see that blanket of clouds just on the other side of that mountain range. I believe that's Brigham City on the other side there. Nicely done there, Camille. She posted this on Instagram. Gorgeous. Love all the snow and a little bit of blue just above that cloud blanket. 30 degrees right now in Salt Lake City. We have a few clouds above. We'll say partly cloudy for the most part. No wind to speak of. Good news there. It's always good when we don't have wind this time of year. We just do not need to make it feel any colder than it actually already is, right? 46 currently in St. George. No wind as well. Good visibility out there. Satellite map. Clouds are on the increase. Very weak system, more clouds than anything, but it could generate some showers in the form of rain and snow way to the west of I-15 over west central Utah. Basically, no man's land out there, not much going on. So you'll probably see some dark clouds off in the distance, and then that's about all we'll really get. Northern Utah looking fairly clear. A few extra clouds trying to skirt across northern part of Utah. That will continue overnight. And we got forecast for tonight, dropping temperatures down fairly close to where they were last night. Salt Lake City, 25. Okay, still pretty chilly at night. We're in the 20s already, so we're on our way down just a little bit more. We'll be back down in the single digits in Logan, but it won't be quite as cold as you were last night in Logan. You were 2 below zero. So at least you'll stay above that mark, and we'll barely stay above zero in Vernal with a low of 2. Then we'll add 20 degrees to that, and that will be the low temperature in Richfield. St. George, you'll stay above freezing tonight. You can thank the blanket of clouds for that. Clouds are good for something, and it keeps us warmer at night for sure. Now, tomorrow's temperatures will be unhindered, really, with all the clouds that will start moving in. We'll actually be just 1 degree warmer in Salt Lake City than we were this afternoon, and warmer than average, but it will be a mostly cloudy day over northern Utah, so waving goodbye, whether you want to or not, to that sunshine, and definitely overcast over southern Utah with temperatures in the mid-50s over in St. George, mid-40s in Kanab, and we're still struggling temperature-wise up in Evanston and Logan. The clouds won't help us out there. We're still deep in that deep freeze. Futurecast tomorrow. Clouds keep moving in, and there are those showers there just off towards the west of I-15. Maybe a little snow shower just near the I-70, I-15 interchange, so something to keep in mind. But that's about it. Things will really start to thin out as we get into tomorrow night. Air quality forecast inversion starting to strengthen a little bit, so most of us in the moderate range, 1 and 2 exceptions. Utah County and Washington County will be treated to good air quality for the holiday. Now, southern Utah for the next 7 days, there is a chance of some rain on Tuesday, it looks like. But we're not really holding our breath on that. Just a potential, maybe a 30% probability. But it looks really good for that 60-degree day on Wednesday. And then temperatures will be in the 60s next weekend. Something to look forward to. Already talking about next weekend. But for the holiday tomorrow, just a lot of clouds, a gray-looking day. It'll feel okay, though. We'll be in the mid-50s. Northern Utah 7-day forecast. We got a lot of clouds tomorrow as well, 42. And then Tuesday, there's a possibility of rain and snow late Tuesday. Then it will turn to all snow Wednesday morning. Not good for the commute, I know. But at least this storm won't be as windy as the one we had Friday morning. That's a good thing. Temperatures will bottom out to about 37 on Friday, and then we'll be treated to another weekend in the 40s, Saturday and Sunday. Lows at night, a little bit on the nippy side. We'll be down in the lower 20s for at least one night.
That's what you get for having a 3-day weekend. You come back, get slapped in the face with your commute.
That's a good way to put it.
Hello, back to work now.
Fair enough. But St. George, 60s, man.
Oh, yeah, 3 days. 3 days this next week.
Might be time to escape to southern Utah.
Always a good idea this time.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Doug.
You bet.
Still to come, we're going to show you how the city of Draper is pledging to improve air quality.
And we'll take you inside Weber County firefighters training for ice rescues.
The guacamole double cheeseburger from Carl's Jr. is back for only $299.
It's $2.99. We forgot the decimal point.
Only $2.99? The guacamole double deal is back for only $2.99 at Carl's Jr.
Drive it home. Start your year off right with $6,000 cash back on a new all-wheel drive Edge or Escape. Only at your local Ford stores.
When I suit up for a game, I dress to win.
In a great fitting suit from Mr. Mac.
Now during the winter clearance, save on men's suits. Single pant suits start at $179. Two pant suits start at $229. Stock up on quality slacks. Buy one, get one half off. Save on shirts, ties, and a huge selection of sports coats. Plus find red tag savings throughout the stores. Dress to win at Mr. Mac, the home of fast-free alterations.
Everyone wants more for less. That's why Xfinity is redesigning our TV and internet packages to give you just that. Now there are faster download speeds on our internet tiers. And new options to get the channels you want on the award-winning X1. Plus, binge your favorite shows whenever and wherever with the Xfinity Stream app included. That really is more for your money. Unleash more speed, more entertainment, and more value. Only with Xfinity. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Click, call, or visit a store today.
The Utah Auto Show is here, and the deals are going strong during Toyota's Auto Show sales event, happening now at your Utah Toyota dealer. Take advantage of deals on a special shipment of Auto Show vehicles, like $1,250 cash back on Tacoma, or lease 4Runner for just $369 per month. Plus, all new Toyotas come with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Hurry, these deals won't last long. Toyota, let's go places.
The guacamole double cheeseburger from Carl's Jr. is back for only $299.
It's $2.99. We forgot the decimal point.
Only $2.99? The guacamole double deal is back for only $2.99 at Carl's Jr.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Draper City leaders want everyone to do their part to help clear the air, and this week they teamed up with the Canyon School District and the Salt Lake County Health Department to spread that message. Fox 13's Max Ross shows us how they're raising awareness.
On a snowy morning outside Willow Springs Elementary School in Draper sits an inconspicuous white van. But this van is more than ordinary. Take a closer look and you can see.
The van is instrumented with research-grade equipment.
This mobile air quality lab is recording data and monitoring vehicle emissions.
We've parked the van here right next to where the drop-off is to try and directly capture the emissions of vehicles dropping off children.
This is a spot. They're hot spots. They're where little kids are, who are the most vulnerable in the population, and we're all sitting there.
Draper City Mayor Troy Walker wants to see parents do their part to help clear the air. He thinks this clean air campaign at elementary schools in the Canyon School District will make a difference.
Kids, as they get involved, and I think as we educate young people, that's how you really start to change, old habits and old ways that we do things.
University of Utah Air Quality Lab specialist Ryan Bars is monitoring the numbers.
We're collecting data at very, very high frequencies.
He's measuring nitrogen oxides, ozone particulate matter, carbon dioxide, and other pollutants.
This morning we actually already saw some fairly large rises in a number of the species as the vehicles were arriving to drop off children.
Both Bars and Mayor Walker agree the purpose of this campaign is to raise awareness and show that a little change goes a long way.
Any exposure to air quality is bad, and especially when you're talking about at-risk populations like children. So even small reductions in air quality can have great improvements in the quality of life.
I think it's one of the serious pending issues for Utah is clean air. It's an opportunity to do our small part.
Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Firefighters in Weber County are trying to prevent ice rescues this time of year. They spent the afternoon training in a pond to not only freshen up their skills, but show us how weak the ice is. Fox 13's Haley Higgins takes us there.
Walking out of the ice at the 21st Street Pond in Ogden with the intention of falling in. This is training rescue in Weber County.
The ice is variable and it's changing every day. It's easy for someone to fall in.
That's why Weber Fire District Captain Chris Wheaton says they're out on the ice. Firefighters with Weber and Riverdale fire departments are brushing up on their skills and preparing for the worst.
We never know, especially with how weak the ice is, and as we experienced today, guys were just falling through.
The rescuers are dressed head to toe in gear designed to keep them warm, and they're prepared to fall into freezing waters about 100 yards out from the shore. But it's not always the case in an emergency, and often, Wheaton says, people underestimate the conditions.
They think it's really cold, but the wind temperature doesn't necessarily dictate how thick the ice is or how strong the ice is.
Wheaton says conditions on the ice can change quickly. The firefighters have a plan of action to make sure they don't get into trouble themselves during a rescue operation. They take turns falling into the water and being pulled to safety by rescuers on shore, sliding across the frozen sheet of ice.
Because the ice is so weak, it won't support our body weight, so we have to lay down and either crawl or even scoot on our stomachs.
Wheaton says if you fall in, try to self-rescue. Crawl back out of the ice if you can. And it's important to stay calm. The more you work, the quicker you can become hypothermic. And if you see someone fall in the ice, first call 911, and then he says reach for a stick or anything to try and help pull the person out of the water.
We never suggest people go out just for the mere fact that they then a lot of times become victims themselves. And now we have 2 people that we're trying to save instead of just 1.
Haley Higgins.
It's just so unpredictable where's safe and where's not down here.
Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still to come, a devastating crime in Hawaii. 2 police officers dead and several homes up in flames. What we're learning about the investigation.
Whether your car has small tires, big tires, tires that go fast, tires with extra grip, or tires that just get you from here to there, they can be an unexpected expense. Don't wait any longer. At Big O Tires, we have no